Hello, everyone. Okay, my lighting is dark in here for some reason. Um, but let me turn it down. Now I can see me and look a whole lot brighter now. Now let's pray that the phone does not fall from the tripod. Then we'll have success. So, today on this special edition of Ask the Nanny, we are going to have Aileen Matherin. I hope I said her name right. I'm almost sure I did. Hi, Nikki. We are going to be talking about the Nanny Marketplace that is going to be held in New York on June the 30th. Hi, Felicia. How are you? So, we are just waiting on our guest of honor. Hi, Tiffany. How are you? It's good to see you. Aileen is coming and she's going to tell us all the ins, outs, and abouts. Hi, Bernadette of the Nanny Marketplace and what's going to be happening there, how we can participate. Hi, Beth. Hi, Sarah. And there she is. There's Aileen. Okay, let's see. Hold on. Hi, Rebecca. Let me scroll back over here. Hi, Neela. And let's see. Let me add her. So, there she
Yeah,
is. Hi,
Angela, do
Kat.
you know? Hi, everyone. I need a minute to adjust that. My gosh, you come on camera and you're like, ouch, ouch, what just happened here?
That's why I was like,
Oh my gosh,
you see
I
yourself and you're like, no, that's not me. That's not what I want to look
what
like.
just happened here?
Yes, yes, yes,
Well, you know what? We are in the company of family of really good people, so it
yes,
does not matter.
yes. So we are here to talk about the Nanny Marketplace. And I know that is your baby. And my question is, how did you come up with this?
Before I start, I want to take a minute to especially thank you for having me on
Okay.
Ask Nanny. I am always I'm in gratitude to everything that happens in my world, including this. I want to take a minute to thank everybody that has joined us and everyone who's going to listen to this video. We are grateful for your company
Yes.
that you'll take time out even to listen to us. So, Nanny Marketplace. I often say that the things that I do not do it because of me. And some people, when I say that, they actually it lifts, a few people will lift their eyebrows and say, what do you mean by that? Um, I think, I said very early, I live my life being guided and guarded by God. So one evening, as I was seeking direction as to what to do, how I can better serve the community, Nanny Marketplace came into my spirit, and that was sometime very late last year. So I immediately booked the space. And, believe it or not, when I think things are divinely ordered, you sort of the direction in which it will go. So I was given, in many ways, all the instructions. It's almost like I had done this before. And I was just listening to the Spirit of God as He began. And I say that with all sincerity, began unfolding what is Nanny Marketplace, which is ultimately now called Nanny Fest, Nanny Marketplace. So
Okay.
where did the inspiration come from? Without a shred of doubt, I know that it was divinely given. And here's the intention behind all of it, Angela and everybody who's watching. I realize there's such incredible talent in the nanny community. And what do we do with this talent? How do we showcase the multiplicity of talents that is given to us? And I think Nanny Marketplace is going to eventually help answer those questions and help showcase the talents that so need to be showcased. Hi, everyone.
Hello, everyone. So that was the inspiration. I love when you say you were led by God to do this, because some things we come up with on our own and it flops. But
Yes.
when God leads you and puts it in your spirit and says, go forth, and you're like, but Lord, I don't know how I'm going to do this. I don't know what's going to come from this. How He always brings it together and brings it to fruition. And I personally thank you for bringing this together and being obedient and just following not only your heart, but God's direction.
Absolutely. And I want Nanny Marketplace to be a testament to every single woman that has said and is saying to themselves and to others that there is something else that I was called to do. Mm-hmm. And as I pray, one of the things that I say to God is that allow my life to be a manifestation of your love, and that through my life, the women will never see me, but see what I keep saying to them, that if you seek, ye shall find.
Amen.
You will find. And one of the things that I want women to know and people to know is that we don't find sometimes because we live our lives too busy, very robotically. I mean, there's so much to do, juggling children and the nanny work. I mean, is a work that takes so much out of so many of us. Mm-hmm. And sometimes we do not spend enough quiet time sourcing that energy that's within us that's so greater than us. So Nanny Marketplace, ladies, yes, it's a place that's going to showcase entrepreneurial spirit within the nanny community. Yes, it's a place that's going to bring nannies from all diasporas together and serve that greater purpose of showcasing diversity. Yes, it's going to be a place where perhaps a few nanny careers beyond just nannying will be, perhaps it will be a catalyst to something greater. But take Nanny Marketplace and understand that every single thing that you said that you want to do, that you have the capacity inside of you to do it.
Yes.
And my gosh, it will come with a lot of pain, because I called a few of my spiritual sisters and I said at one point, am I to cancel Nanny Marketplace because it is an expensive undertaking to have an event in New York? The permits, the licenses, the liquor, the day permits, the liquor license, everything that comes with putting together a great event. And that is why it is important, my sisters, my friends, my family, to have a circle of influence around you that is tight and that is genuine and that seeks after the spirit and guidance of someone who's greater than us, because they said, we will grow into prayer. We will pray.
I love it.
And when these women tell you that they're going to pray, they're going to the hills and back
yes.
to the hills and down the hill.
Yes.
And one that's a member of this platform also, she said, no, you're not going to cancel. You're going to go confidently and do this because it is greater than you.
Amen.
So that is it.
Pass the offering, please. Amen.
Blessed is his name.
I know. I so feel the ladies that are surrounding you, because there are things that I know I was called to do,
Mm-hmm.
and things that I love to do. And when I finally let go of my comfort zone and finally let go and said, okay, God, your will, everything just started popping up. And I'm like, it was overwhelming because I thought I was ready. And I know I have it, like you said, it's within you, but you got to trust God that He will bring it out when you need it. And when I tell you, I was just like, what you are doing is beyond you and beyond us, and it is. Oh, anyway, you're gonna make me cry now. It is.
It is.
It's all God because I see Him moving through you every time something comes up. And I'm like, okay, so I wonder what she's going to do next. And I wonder what she's going to do next. And I wonder what she's going to do next. When you did the National Nanny Training Day, I was like, this is not it. That's something else. And then after that, it was like 2 seconds after National Nanny Training Day, the market, I said, I knew it. I knew something else in the works. And there's probably
Well,
going to be something else before the ball.
yes, there is.
Okay.
Well, we've done it. We have, um, we do the, I believe that our lives are given to us for a greater purpose. And if we don't live our lives serving others and pouring, and having that outcry for something greater than us, then that is not an accomplished life. It is today that I said to this wonderful Jewish man, I said, I've worked in homes of very, very, very wealthy people.
Mm-hmm.
And I said to him, I've seen people with so much, but sometimes in the place where there's excess, I have seen the most deficiencies. And I caution us as a community to continue to grow beyond just the external things that we can inherit.
Yes.
And if we can live our lives for a greater purpose, if we can cry for somebody else genuinely, that whole idea of agape love that Peter Donoff talked about so eloquently, these are the things that we are called to do. And if you want to see your true authentic power that is within you, because there's one in you, Angela, I can see it, and there's one in Jamie and Toya and all the sisters that's there. If you want to experience the unveiling of that authentic power, is live your life knowing and having true intentions in all that you do. So my secret, when something floods into my spirit, I am learning now to ask God, what is the intention? Help me find the intention. And within that space, it has to be greater than me. So what is Nanny Marketplace doing? Nanny Marketplace is giving 23 vendors that are professional nannies opportunities to showcase their brand, including My Nanny Circle.
Yay!
It is our own fair. It is our own high-end flea market. It is our own thing. It's almost like you go to the nurses fair or the police office, the police union's fair. We have our own, and that is what Nanny Marketplace is going to do.
Yes.
And perhaps when nannies come, they will have their own epiphany, that aha moment, that
yes.
I can do something too. That if Fernanda was able to do it, and if all the women that are serving as vendors are able to do it, my sisters, the capacity is in each and every one of you. Now, here's how you wrap your if you want to make sure that you can release your gift out to the universe, is to be happy for somebody else when you see their gifts unveiling in front of you.
There it is.
That is your power.
Yes.
To be authentically happy for somebody else, because you know what? Each of us were given incredible gifts. God did not give Toya, and God did not give Jamie, and God did not give Molly and Nikki gifts. And he said, oh, I'm not going to give somebody else. He didn't give Elsie gifts and say, oh, I'm not going to give Angela. To each of us were given talents.
Mm-hmm.
It's up to us to decide to bury our talents, or we can decide to invest in the talent. What I do know about God is that there is almost that law of multiplication. There is
Mm-hmm.
always addition. But in order for you to add to your talent, you have to appreciate the talent of somebody else. You have to speak good. Scripture says that we have life and death at the
And
tip
the
of our
power of our
tongue.
tongue. Yes.
If you're going to speak things that's not going to benefit somebody else, you are going to atrophy your own progress. Because you know what? Perhaps you have not seen the amount of nights that maybe I spent on bended knees. Perhaps you don't see the other sister that's vending, how she's crying. Perhaps you don't know that she has a small loan somewhere, trying to repay that loan to grow her business. And sometimes we see the end result, but we don't see the amount of work that is put into that journey. And
Yes.
so I caution each and every one of us to be happy, genuinely happy for every single person, and to understand that the capacity is in each and every one of you. And for those of you that are doing the incredible things that you're doing, Nanny Marketplace is going to be bigger next year. So become a vendor. You know, you have this awesome thing that you do. Turn it into a business. Do something. It is these women out in Brooklyn that changed their products and they were able to sell it for millions of dollars to a big company. It always starts with the small man. Because again, what I learned about God is that He's the least amongst us that He's going to use, because he needs to showcase his glory. So you don't have to have arrived for God to be able to use you. I keep telling you over and over, I am the fatherless girl. I am the motherless girl. I am the woman that was so very broken as a young child. And it's only because I I sought after the wisdom of God, and he allowed me to be able to use my gifts, but use it as a servant, because the servant is never greater than the master. So
Amen.
every single day I come to you and I say, I come to serve. And I know you too will be serving. Get up and do it. I'm not negating the nanny profession. You know how much I love the nanny profession. But if there is something inside of you that you need to do that is beyond the nanny profession, get up and do it. If it's the pediatric nurse you think that you are going to become, do it. If it's somebody that, if you are an entrepreneur that has this idea for this fabulous product, do it. It will take a lot of hard work,
Yes.
but we only get from life whatever we put out of, whatever we put in, that's what we are able to get out.
That's right. And anything worth doing is worth working hard for it. It's going to be hard work. Trust me on that one. It is going to be hard work. And just because you see your sister beside you and she's climbing the ladder and she's going and going and going, you don't know how long she's been working to get to where she is. So don't be
Yeah,
envious of, well, she just went overnight. Well, it was not overnight. And if it was, that's God.
amen.
Because God can take you from 0 to 60 in less than a second. If he
Time is
wants to
not.
use you, he can do it. But don't be envious of your sister because you see her over here, smiling and having fun and selling her wares and doing what she needs to do, and because she worked hard. Behind the scenes is what you didn't see. And that's exactly
Absolutely.
what Aileen is talking about. But you got to work hard just like she did. And if you don't have something, um, who was it? Elijah, who got the blessing when he dropped the cloak from heaven and got the blessing. I always pray that over myself. I want the blessing of the double. I want that. And that's one of my affirmations. I want the blessing in whatever I do. I speak that. It's all over my house. I speak it as I go out. I speak it as I come in, when I go to the bathroom and do my hair, and it's all over my mirrors. It's all over the refrigerator, everywhere I go. If you want things to come into your life, life and death is in the power of your tongue, and you have to speak it, and you have to speak life over it. And that does not mean you speak life into yourself and death into somebody else.
That's
Because
right.
that's not
That's
how
right.
it works. Because you reap what you sow. I'm
Absolutely.
just saying.
Very powerful. And when we ask for double portion, we ensure that that portion is for a greater, for the greater good.
Yes.
I think all those Greek, back in Greek philosophy, Socrates used to talk so much in Plato about what is the greater good, what really is the greater good. And then when we look at life and we examine life, you begin to see what is life if I'm not able to positively impact somebody else's life? What is the accumulation of stuff? I suppose it does not bother me anymore because of the places that I have been and what I have seen, that right now, I often joke like I could be this woman that's the very Rasta type mentality, living and enjoying the bare necessities of life. Because one of the things that I found out in life, I think throughout my nanny career, is that things do not make us happy. And
No.
what really is life if we cannot lift somebody up?
Mm-hmm.
And as we have our sisters on the platform and we're talking about entrepreneurship, we're talking about getting to your apex, we're talking about nanny marketplace where people are going to be selling their goods. And I'm going to tell you more about these nannies. I want you to know again that I think I keep saying this over and over, to never forget that there's something and there are lots of things that you yourself can do, and to ensure that you are taking time finding out what is your true purpose. I'll tell you something, as much as I love social media and it has allowed us to have incredible platforms and connect with dynamic sisters like you, Angela, the danger in social media is that what I see happening is that we begin to make copies of things rather than sourcing out our true purpose. So there is replication of stuff. So almost like taking a snapshot of something. So if Angela can do it, I'll do it too. Or I can do that too, and I can do that too. And I think that is mental laziness and negating to consider
Mm-hmm.
that we too have our own purpose that may be very, very different from Angela's. And so I caution women and tell them there is a fine line between inspiration and just replication. And if you just replicate, you get to consider the powerhouse that's inside of you, because it is said, greater is me that's within you. That anything that you ask me to do, that I can do. So why are you replicating instead of creating? And that is what I see, that idea that I'm just going, oh, I like to see that, so let me do that, I can do it better. No, because my purpose, your purpose, Elsie's purpose, Toya's purpose is so very different. And if we live in our innate, authentic self, we will be able to discover our true purpose. But if we
Yes.
sit back, taking snapshots of the work of others, thinking that, oh, I can do it better, we are operating from a place of ego. And ego says, look at me, look at Aline. That's what ego says. But spirit says, look at the one that's greater than me. That's where it came from. And so, very, very importantly, to spend time discovering your true purpose, because you will find yourself very, very frustrated doing something that you were not called to do. Will you be able to find success along the way? Yes. Will there be longevity? No. It has been proven over and over that if you do something that you do not really like, or you were not called to do, eventually it crashes.
That's
So
right.
find your true purpose, discover it, love it, and nurture it. And I'll tell you, while you're creating your brands and while you're creating your platforms and while you're creating your business, understand that there will be naysayers strategically placed along that journey. And the job of the naysayers is simply to cause you to go mental. Because I'll tell you, my sisters, if I had to listen to the naysayers in my life, I would literally go mental. I have been called names that is not synonymous to me, until I realize that you only answer to the names that you know that you are. People have accused me. In some cases, they don't even know who I am, and they would say all sorts of stuff. And at one time, when I was not emotionally grounded, I was very, very insecure about that, because, I love people, and when things are said that's hurtful, I would cry. But now I have developed an immunity to it, that I'm actually writing a book about it, about how people will label you and sometimes attach the wrong labels to you. That's
Mm-hmm.
okay. These people are strategically placed in your lives to allow you to examine your own life. It's strategically placed to cause you to pray more. And that's what they do for me every single day. The naysayers, the accusers, the trespassers. They teach me to forgive. They teach me to love. They remind me that just as I have trespassed against, they trespass against me, I've trespassed against God. And so I'm able to pray better. Do not allow naysayers to prevent you from finding that thing that you're supposed to do, to become what you're supposed to become. They are just supposed to be able to say to you, how can I be a better version of myself? That's all you're supposed to do with it. Because it's not your business what people think about you, as long as you're living in your authentic self and grounded in the construct of good morality.
Yes.
So I say that to you.
Yes. I like to call those people you're talking about, I like to call them sandpaper people. They're there to
Say that
kind of
again.
smooth sandpaper. You know how you take
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
sandpaper and it smooths out the edges and makes you a better you. And like
I
you
like that.
said, to um, you take what you hear and you think about it, like, okay, so how can I make me better? What can I use from what they said to make myself or my product or my whatever better and make it shine more? I call those
Mhm.
sandpaper people because they're like little gnats in your ear going zzz, zzz, and you just kind of swat them away, just like that's what you have to do. The sandpaper people, they're there to smooth you out, and you swat it away, and you keep on. Because when you use the sandpaper, it's dust left over, and you blow away the dust, and what do you have? A smooth surface. God,
Very true.
God uses. Sometimes people naysayers come in your life, to smooth you out, and
Of course.
sometimes they come in there, and it's just. Um, a test of are you really going to do this, or are you just playing about it? It's okay.
It's
I'm
all in
not
the
going to
plan.
preach. I'm not going to preach. Anyway, if you're
Yeah, yeah, you know
watching,
what?
please share this video. Aileen is getting ready to tell us about the nanny marketplace.
So Nanny Marketplace, what an introduction.
I know.
We're supposed to be talking about Nanny
Yeah,
Marketplace.
that's what we're supposed to be talking about.
Well, in order to get to Nanny Marketplace, we have to navigate through the labyrinth of life itself. So
Yes.
now we understand, get up, do what you're supposed to do. Now we understand, forget about the naysayers. Now we understand that the capacity is within each and every one of us. So now once you get there and you have created a product, you are very objective in your approach. So don't create a product and it does not taste good and say, oh, for example, oh, that cake is the best. I'm cake boss. If you can improve on it, improve on it. You know, have people critique your work. And you have to be emotionally sound to be able to have people critique your work. So
Yes.
you're at that stage, you have created something. I mean, the beauty of social media is that we're able to connect with, I mean, an unlimited group of people at instantaneously.
Mm-hmm.
So then you are pretty much at Nanny Marketplace because you have created something. So it is June 30th. It is in Brooklyn. It is at 438 East 49th Street in Brooklyn. It is between Snyder and Church Avenue. What time does it start? It starts at 11 o'clock in the morning. It ends at 6 p.m. So what is that? If you think of a carnival, if you think of a fair, that's what Nanny Marketplace is, with the addition of incredible entrepreneurs. So we'll have nannies that cook. We have nannies that sell skincare product, and we have nannies that sell clothing. We have a nanny, Stephanie Burkham, that's coming all the way from Dallas.
Texas.
Yes, Texas is going to be in the house.
All right.
And Emily from Little Rock. And Alfreda, hopefully from Washington, or,
Yes.
coming in. I mean, a whole host of different products. We will have a DJ. We will have a face painter. So we ask the nannies to invite your nanny families because we're hoping to connect with nanny families. A face painter that's going to paint the children's faces at it's $5, paint the face, but a professional face painter. We are going to have hot dogs and roast corns and jerk chicken and barbecue chicken and all the good
Ah,
things.
oh,
That's
yum.
and all sorts of different things, jewelry, you know. But most importantly, what's so exciting for me is the fact that, Angela, is the fact that we are speaking with an organization that's going to help us get a mobile health unit.
Oh,
So they will be able
wow.
to do a blood pressure check, a glucose check, and we're also asking for things like basic like an HIV check. So basically a health check. And
Great.
we are also going to be able to tell nannies where they can go to get insurance if they don't have insurance, or clinic and stuff like that. And that is pretty much to help us end what we've been celebrating this month, National Health Month.
Yes.
So I am speaking with an organization, and we're almost 90% sure that we may have a mobile health unit at a nanny fair, and that's going to be very, very exciting.
Okay. Now, I heard on one of your lives that you're inviting all the ladies and gentlemen, whoever comes, to wear their authentic, um, how do I put this? Their authentic
National,
native dress. Did I say that right?
that is right.
Okay.
Yes. So here's the thing that I really like. Although I am from the Southern Caribbean, although every single platform that I speak at or any event I have, I ask people to flood St. Lucia, to visit St. Lucia. I talk about how romantic it is. Oh my gosh. I mean, so romantic. I am also a woman that thinks very globally. And I'm very, very mindful of the fact that I live in a global society.
Mm-hmm.
I love this quote that if you label me, you negate me. And what I have at my nanny circle is a universal nanny community. So, by the way, if you're not a member of my nanny circle, let me take this opportunity to invite you to this universal nanny community called my nanny circle. And what I like about this is that I absolutely love diversity. My best girlfriends are whites and Latinas and, women from the Caribbean and
Mm-hmm.
American. I just love the melting pot orchestra, whatever you want to use to call it. I love and celebrate diversity. Because very early when I came to America and I ventured into Manhattan, I realized that nannies were in cliques. Now, sociology tells us that this is how people in their construct operate. So I will identify with people that speak the same language as me and eat the same types of food as me. And not because we're trying to be biased, we're more comfortable, and so we're in that clique. And there are lots of cliques happening. But I say to the nanny community, if you want to see the richness of who we are, if you want to see the powerhouse that exists in the nanny community, is bring all these cliques together and make what I call a good bouillon, a good soup, a melting pot. Bring us together. And I implore the nanny community to not be threatened by differences. That I speak another language and you may speak another language. I ask you to value the Filipinos and the Latinas and my white sisters and my black sisters and my brown sisters. We need to come together and we need to banish biases that exist.
Yes.
So that is fundamentally important. So to go back to your question about why the national costume and the national wear of nannies from different regions, we are going to celebrate diversity. We're going to make a bold statement that it is all of us working together that enriches the lives of families and children.
Yes.
And that a good nanny is not based on geography or language or race. That's not true.
Right.
It is a false construct that has been sold within the nanny community that we have drunk off the cup of that belief that, you know, a good nanny might look that way or sound that way or might be of that skin color. That's not true. It is all of us coming together with all our various talents and our various ways of nannying and making it as exceptional as it is. There is no big P professional and small P professional. There is no big N nanny and a small N nanny. That's not true. There is dignity in all of our work. We're going to respect that. And that fashion show we're putting on,
Yay.
the flags that's going to be laid out throughout the venue is going to send a message to every single nanny, no matter what diaspora you belong to, white, black, American, St. Lucian, small island, big island, African, European, that we value you as workers. And so that's right. The bold statement we're making.
Yes. Love it, love it, love it. Okay. So I know this year, is it too late to become a vendor? Or can and I know you're probably planning in your head already. Next year we're gonna do this, 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 and this. So is it too late for this year? And if it is, can we start signing up for next year?
Well, here's the good news. I just got a call from a company that says, I saw that concept of nanny marketplace and we absolutely love it. And we want to help you make this concept almost like a street fair next year. So that is an awesome thing. And we're excited about that. You know, the possibilities are endless. I love to think of one thing at a time. When you take care of first things first, like Stephen Covey says,
okay,
then you can do it well.
Okay.
So you ask whether there's space available for this year. We have a tentative hold for someone for 2 spaces. If by tomorrow we don't have a confirmation, there might be 2 spaces that will open. You know, one of the things that I think sometimes we, again, in moving confidently in our direction as entrepreneurs, is that we become very concerned about, if I go to Nanny Marketplace, will I make money? I will tell you from my own experience that sometimes in growing a brand, you will have to spend money to make money.
That's true.
I remember the times that I would have to travel, for example, to Wisconsin to give a speech, and perhaps I might not make that amount of money that I could have made somewhere else. But what I was doing very organically is growing my brand.
Yes.
And so if people don't know about you, if you don't build that personal rapport with them, you know, how can they begin to understand and trust what you're doing? And so sometimes in order for us to gain, it might take losing. But I don't believe you will lose at mine at Nanny Fest, because I've asked that God open his windows and bless every single vendor. And if we have asked, we will receive. If we have sought, we will find. There's no two ways about it. So I am very confident that since there is a commander commanding Nanny Fest, that all will be well.
Amen.
And if you have any doubt as to whether you will sell all your products, understand that Nanny Fest might be a catalyst to something else. Think about it in terms of a metaphor of a bridge. That I'm one place in my life, I need to walk over that bridge to get to that other place. But if you keep in that meadow, if you keep there and you're not moving there, how can you get to the other side?
That's right.
It is God that said to the Israelites, you are in the same place for too long. And sometimes, nannies, you are in that same place for too long.
Preach.
You know, you're afraid to leave the job. You're afraid to do something else.
Yes.
You're afraid. You're afraid. You have to gamble. I left a very high-paying nanny job to start my nanny circle. Was I broke some days? Dead broke. But in the end, I was doing what my spirit told me that I was created to do. We have been sometimes in that same place for too long. And the only thing that handicaps us is fear.
Up here.
And we were told that we were not given a spirit of fear, but rather of power.
And a sound mind. A sound mind. And Aileen, just to piggyback off of what you said, exposure is everything. If you're not there, then you can't be exposed. If you're not there, then you can't be discovered. If you're not there, then nobody knows that you're still a nobody. If you're not there, being out there and putting yourself out there, it costs money to make money. I can tell you, I have done a whole lot of things on not even a shoestring, but a toothpick budget. All I had was a toothpick, and I used my toothpick. And, faith it till you make it. Oh, yes. Faith it till you make it. You can be the most intelligent person, but if you don't expose yourself to anything, then you won't get anything back. Put yourself out there. And that all that stuff up in here, that's what took me so long to quit my job. Because it was all up here. I don't have a plan. I don't have a plan. I don't have a plan. And God was like, you don't need one. You got me. That's right. And then when I finally let go and let God, all the stuff just started falling. Still don't have but a toothpick, but I'm still working my toothpick.
It's coming. Yours is coming. And so what you're saying is so right. I mean, I cannot tell you the amount of women that would say to me, it must have taken you a lot of courage to do what you do. And I think I heard an interview by my favorite author, Dr. Wayne Dyer. And Dr. Dyer said that he had been writing and writing, and he knew that there was more. And he said it was one day he was called to do an interview at a radio station in Long Island. And he decided to leave home and go to the radio station. And from there, he was discovered. So really and truly, if you created something, and the only people that know that you have created it is your circle of influence, then really, what have you created? And by the way, sometimes you said something that's so very important, Angela. You said you have to examine your surroundings. Sometimes the reason why you are not able to move past, another phase in your life, another chapter in your life to grow, is because some of you are in the same circle year after year, day after day, week after week, and you fail to meet people that have different perspectives. Mm-hmm. You fail to meet people that challenge you. One of the things that I have for myself is that if I cannot be in the company of great women that maybe know much more than I do, then I'm not in the company of anyone. Of course, I speak and I have friends, all different types of friends. But you have to be around people that may challenge you, that say, Lean, why are you doing this? And I would do it that way. And have you considered something else? But if you are in a place where nobody challenges you and you're just there and everybody is comfortable, how can you grow? You can truly measure your growth when you step outside and go to an unfamiliar territory. That's when you can challenge your growth. It was at Kimberly Clark in Wisconsin that I was giving a speech to, I mean, phenomenal people, professionals. And here I was at the time, the nanny, coming to talk about stuff. And as I turned back, they said there was the president or the CEO of Sam's Club. And I'm thinking to myself, what am I doing here? And of course, that fear says to you, it begins to negate you.
Mm-hmm.
And then I realized that this was not about me. You know, it is there I realized that perhaps I needed to hone in on certain skills. So don't be afraid to go outside your comfort zone. Don't be afraid to go where people might criticize you
Mm-hmm.
or people might guide you. You know, be prepared to do that so that you can be the best in whatever you do. Because if everybody says yes to you and nobody challenges you in a constructive, objective way, how can you grow?
That's
So I
true.
always try to go to, of course, don't mistake that for the critics, because there are some critics, no matter what you do, they will find a problem worth it. They will begin to rethink that, oh, my nannying is better than your nannying. And by the way, understand while you are journeying and you are meeting different crowds, bear in mind the people that begin to tell you all about their portfolio and all that they have accomplished and all that they have and all of that are the most emotionally fragile people. Don't be intimidated by this. Move authentically, grow, have humility. Do not live in the American individualistic society that says it's about me, myself, and I. Dare yourself to think about your sister. Leave a ladder for somebody else. Banish the plantation, crab in the barrel type mentality. Think about somebody else. Work for the greater good. And then you will find every single thing that you're supposed to find. Will you find some bumps and high falls and some cuts and deep cuts along the way?
Yes.
Absolutely. It's building who you are.
Yes. And if you are the smartest person in the room, you need to change rooms.
Yeah, because then you
because
just
you
hear your
have
voice.
reached your capacity. And if you're still, people are up here over you and you're trying to get to them, you're like, yes, I can use that, I can use this, I can use that. Oh, that was a nugget, let me write that down. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Everywhere I go, I write down little nuggets. Even when I do Ask the Nanny, that's why I bring on people who know more than me, because I can relate to them. I've had an experience at doing something like that, but they have more experience than me. They have more. I could come over here and tell you what I know, but I'm limited. Most of the families I have stayed with, I've been there long term. So I've had long term longevity, but
Mm-hmm.
the exposure to other things and other places and other people, other situations, different age groups, I can't tell you about that. So I bring on people who know about that, and I learn
That's
from them. And I learn,
that's
and you all never stop learning, ever. When you are the smartest person in the room, you have stopped learning. You might as well
that's right.
close the book and say, "Okay, I'm done."
Yeah, and when whatever you do it with humility. Whatever you do, and I love the idea of you talking about never stop learning, because at the My Nanny Circle platform, what I say to women is read. By your bedstand, you should have your glass of water every night. You should have a book. You should be learning stuff. That whole idea that if you don't use it, you lose it. And by the way, ladies, when you are creating that brand that you are going to create,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's a service type business, whether it's a food-based business, whether it's a product, whether it's an invention, If you are going to be with people that's going to waste your time calling you every minute to say, did you see Tatty? Did you see Kathy? Kathy's hair was not looking good today. Did you see that nanny employer at the park? Do not allow yourself to spend much needed time talking about things that does not appreciate in value. So my friends know me. If you cannot speak life into another woman, into another person, I can't have conversation with you. I don't identify with you. That's why I spend a lot of alone time. I don't, if you cannot speak life into somebody else, then I will not be able to connect with you. Anytime you are creating stuff, you need energies around you that is conducive for your creation.
Yes.
And that is positive energy.
Yes.
Energies that look at people and say, Tatty might not be like me, but I so respect Tatty. I so respect Kathy. I so respect, Sharon. I respect the other individual. But if you're going to be in that murky water, always talking about things that's blurred, like I call it the nonsense chatter, you're not growing. And I say to people, oftentimes people, the criticism for me was, oh, she does not connect with us anymore. There comes a time you will grow in life to such an extent, and I'm not talking about growth in terms of spirit, in terms of physical and tangible things. I'm talking about emotional and spiritual growth, that there will be some crowds that you will no longer be able to identify with.
Yes.
It has to be people that's going to add value to your life, that sees value in other people, and people that will encourage you. And by the way, I must caution you, while you're growing whatever it is, that entrepreneur that you're becoming, you don't have to tell everybody blow by blow what you're doing. My sisters, write that down. Don't, sometimes nannies call me and say, Lean, I have a book idea and it is about, and I say, stop. I say, sister, I write. I don't want your book idea. You don't tell people your business idea until you are ready to launch. Because sometimes, because of ego says, look at me. So before we have an idea, we rush out and we plaster it on social media. Oh, I'm doing this. And we do not even understand how to do it. But already we're telling the world. There are some things that you have to keep to yourself until it becomes an objective reality and you are prepared to share it with the world. And by the way, whatever you're creating, take it from me, brand it. And when you brand it, copyright it. And when you copyright it, trademark it. Like the Nanny's Ball, like Nanny Fest, that is just, the attorneys are about to copyright the Nanny Marketplace, trademarked. Spend time thinking like business women, businessmen. Brand it as much as possible, protect it as much as possible, because if you're given something, you must make sure that you show as a recipient that you honor what was given to you. So make sure that you take time, and all of that comes, it's not cheap, but we invest in the things that have value. So make sure you protect your intellectual collateral. Make sure you do that. Don't go to the nanny employers and say, oh, I have that idea for that book and the book is XYZ. Oh, I have this incredible creation. I'm going to come up with, you don't need to tell everyone. Protect what you have.
Yes.
Until it becomes an objective reality.
I like what Gemma said. She said, keep your dreams from dream killers.
That is general language.
No, but it is so true. I love you, Gemma. Yes.
It's true.
It is so true. Keep your dreams from dream killers. And when Aileen said about the people that you are hanging with and the people that you are, when you are starting to grow yourself, everybody that came with you can't go with you. And they will come back and tell you, oh, you think you all that now. You got a little fame and you think you can't hang with us no more. You can't. No. Jealousy speaks. Listen. Keep your ears open because people will tell you exactly who they are. I think it was Maya Angelou who said that. That people, you watch what they're doing, and people will tell you with their actions exactly who they are. Listen,
True.
because when they tell you and they show you, they can come out and, oh, girl, I don't do that. I don't do that. But you see them doing it all the time. What you gonna
Yeah.
believe? What you see or what you hear? They can
What you see.
deny it. They on that river of denial. So be
Yeah.
careful. Jealousy speaks. And everybody
And
that came with you can't go with you.
I love that idea. And it was this morning I was speaking to someone. One of the things, just piggybacking off what you said, people will try so hard to negate you. And I love to start conversations like this to say, there is such good in humanity. I recognize this.
Mm-hmm.
I speak of that aspect of life because from an entrepreneur, it is what causes people to limit themselves because of the people around them, what they say, how they think. So that's why I'm delving into it. You know, people will remind you of who you were when you perhaps were not at your best,
Yes.
just to negate your creation. For example, we have Louis Frederick. She makes handbags and she's going to be showcasing her handbags. There's a very great likelihood, and I'm not saying it's happening, I'm just giving examples, that this woman that's so secured now, somebody might remind her of the time that she was so insecure just to take away that confidence from her. So we have to be very, very careful. And like you said, out of the abundance of the heart, I think is what you're saying, the mouth speaketh.
Mm-hmm.
So if you listen to the way people speak, you will know where their hearts, where the person's heart is. And so you have to be very cautious. How do I handle it? Because I have to handle it, Angela, every single day. It was this weekend I went to an event, and this lady walked up to me and she says, I think really and truly I don't know you. I kept hearing about you, but I don't think what I heard was actually correct. And I laughed and I said, the only way you can get to know an individual is not through somebody else, but it's taking time to get to know that person. So how I handle it in my own life is I choose to love divinely. I
Mm-hmm.
give out love to every single person. I have healthy boundaries in my life. And so, as you know, that I'm a recluse, I like to be in the basement and I like to be working. I have boundaries. I mean, I'm at that stage where I am immune to the negativity of others and the ideas of others because they're just ideas, good or bad. Um, I have realized that I cannot operate from ego. I operate from my spirit. And because I operate from my spirit, I'm not bruised because my spirit is connected to somebody greater. And so, what do I do? When people come into your life or within your circle or people who don't know you. By the way, the people that will say the most things are people that don't know you
This is true.
and have never had an encounter with you. What I do instead, because it's very important, I give out a lot of love. I say, you know what? If somebody calls and says, I say, no, 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 I don't want to hear. I love. I say, God, forgive. Forgive me too in the process. I love. Because these distractions are going to prevent you from doing the things that you do. When you spend sleepless nights worrying about what people thought about your bags, your bread, your cakes, your braiding, whatever it is, your creation, you do not have time to invest in your brand, in growing whatever you're growing. So negate all of that and just continue on the journey creating and having fun, by the way, creating whatever you are creating.
Yes.
Yes. So one last time, Nanny Marketplace is June 30th. I said in the beginning of this interview that more than likely we're going to have a mobile health unit. I just got off the phone about an hour ago with an organization that's working with a sister organization to provide health services like glucose check, blood pressure check. We're asking for like an HIV check that, they do it now, basic screening. We are going to house these individuals, if they can make it, at the St. Lucia house itself, in that physical building. Right outside the building is a massive lot. That's going to transform with tents and all. It's going to be very, very beautiful. And the vendors, all 23 vendors, skincare, food, um, facials, I mean, all sorts of vendors. We're going to have them under the tents, and we will have something called reading under the tent. My dear friend Jamie and Sherry, they have volunteered to be the nannies. That's, when kids are there, they're going to be reading. So we're asking, by the way, if you have great books. We're going to
Yay.
stimulate something like a playroom where children can take a book and the nannies can be there and they can read while somebody else is waiting for the face painter. We're going to have hot dogs and cotton candy. By the way, if you're on a diet, forget about diet on June 30th.
Put your diet on the shelf.
Yeah, we're going to have cotton candy and a popcorn machine and what's it called? Snow
Snow
ice.
cones, the
So
shaved
that's
ice.
it. I'm
Yes.
a Caribbean girl. I would say ice lolly.
Well, we call it snow cones or shaved
No,
ice. Uh, but it's all good. It's all good.
yes. Jamaican jerk chicken for all our Jamaican sisters and everybody that likes jerk food, barbecue chicken and roast corns and hot dog. We're going to have that there. I mean, we believe that it's going to be a really great event. I keep saying and employing the community to realize that we can only do this with your support. And we
Yes.
ask you to come out, like the police officers again will come out for their fare, the nurses, all those people that see such value in their profession to come out. And by the way, if you Google the place and you see a house, or if a naysayer told you that Aline and them are hosting marketplace in the backyard, that's not true, my sisters. That's just the idea of the naysayer. Let me just tell you myself. It's the St. Lucia house has a huge yard. I was just at an event this weekend, an all-white event, and it was absolutely beautiful. We've had several events at that location. It is spacious, it is safe, it is gated. Inside again can be used for that mobile health clinic. There are toilets in the bottom. It is nice, it is clean, it is beautiful. It is not in the backyard of somebody, coincidentally, it's not. Um, it is a space that's rented for people to host incredible events. It has been done for a while, and so we have been able since last year to secure that place. We are honored that they rented us that place to host Nanny Fest, Nanny Marketplace, and we are expecting, based on the response, we're hoping that at least 500 or even more people can come support Nanny Marketplace and come support the vendors and our initiative.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
I had to plug my phone in because it's going dead. So
Yeah, but we
so
can wrap it up.
I have this iPhone 7. I don't know what Apple was thinking. Um, where the earplugs for the phone is also the
charger. So I can't talk on
Really?
my earphones and charge my phone at the same time. So anyway, I had to take my earphones out so I could plug the phone in so I won't miss a beat.
Yeah. Hey, Julia is asking, where can I get the St. Lucian outfit played?
Please.
Please. Ju, if you call me tonight, I can link you with a woman. In fact, there's a nanny who told me that there's somebody out in the Brooklyn area that is sewing different costumes. So no matter where you're from, that man can actually do that. And the thing about it is if you don't have a costume, just think about something creative. We are going to have a stage, and on that stage, we have all the flags. We will have flags that, to take really good photos. People, maybe I can get the flag to every country. Okay, let me say that again. So if you
Yeah.
have your country flag, bring it if you're not American. So don't come saying, Lyndon, give me a flag from Uruguay.
Bring
Oh, I guess
flags, people. Bring your flags because she can't
bring your
give
own
everybody a
flag.
flag.
Oh, good, Toya. Bring your own flag if you want, if you're from a different place. Because again, I just went to New York to get some flags. They're quite expensive, considering also the amount of people from all the different areas of the world. I cannot possibly commit to getting flags for everyone. So bring your own flags. Okay? You heard that, right, Angela?
Yeah. Bring your own flags. There are a limited amount of flags for the country, flags that are going to be there. So if you know that you're from a little small country, then we're trying to find that flag and it's impossible to find and we have to ship it from overseas to get it over here, bring your flag. Please.
Yes.
Bring your flag.
And by the way, I want to thank our Latina sisters. So many of them, I am now through this process learning about regions of the world. And I think that's the beauty of this. I had my Peruvian sister educate me about, although I'm from Peru, I am from that sort of tribe, and I'm wearing a wear that, an outfit that represents this. And in the process, I am beginning to learn more about geographic locations, but
Mhm.
really getting a chance to respect the diversity of that community. So and by the way, for all my Latina sisters, we have a nanny that I am going to be featuring her tomorrow. She's making all those yummy foods from, I think it's Latin America. I hope I'm saying this right, and I could be, I might be ignorant about that, but she's making, all sorts of foods. And I'm excited about that. I'm excited about the diversity in foods. We have, again, Patsy from Barbados, and she's making all these incredible foods from that part of the world. And so it's very, very exciting. Um, I want to, Angela, before we wrap up, I want to let the community know that when I put together Nanny Fest, Nanny Marketplace, I was able to reach out to nannies and say, hey, I don't want to do this alone. And I think your expertise, your help will be able to, take a bit of stress off me. And so many of these women came, and, we've had maybe 2 conference calls where they speak to me about stuff, and they're involved and they're helping in their own organic way. And I want to extend my deepest gratitude. And of course, as I have approval from all of them, because there are people, by the way, that will help, but they want to be behind the scenes. So as soon as I have approval from each and every one of them, I will tell you who these exceptional women are. And for every single person that is watching that will view this video, I ask you to pray for us on June 30th.
Yes.
If my people would pray. And that's the secret in life. That is the secret. That's the treasure.
My people.
That is the treasure. To pray for favorable weather, to pray that, that our community is represented in a classy, in a way that upholds standard, in a way that is dignified, in a way that is noble. Because as we do that, we are creating our own realities. People are going to view us differently. People are going to say, these are, the 21st century nannies. That's a different type of movement. And if
Right.
we hold ourselves accountable to higher standards, each and every one of you, no matter where you are going to reap the rewards, because perception is reality. And if we go out into New York and if we showcase those entrepreneurs and if we do things in a dignified, respectful way, if we show the nanny families that are coming agape love, like Christ said to show, they will go back having their own epiphany. It will trickle down positively into communities, whether they're black or white or Filipino or whatever, brown or purple, whatever you can identify with. In the end, collectively, we all will win.
That's
We
right.
all. So come out in your best self. Come out on June 30th. If you're there and you're a nanny and you realize perhaps there is a nanny employer, perhaps, ask that person, how can I help you? Welcome them to Nanny Fest. Welcome them to Nanny Marketplace. Tell them how much you appreciate the fact that they have chosen to use nanny care, because it is important that we always showcase the best of who we are as people. Love always win. And that's what I will leave you with.
Amen. 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 And actions speak louder than words, but word of mouth is key, because those nanny employers, they will go back and tell their friends and tell their friends and tell, do you know they had this at the park? They have this over here. And oh my gosh, I didn't realize they had all this. I didn't realize they did all this. Word of mouth, word of mouth. That's how I have gotten most of my jobs, is word of mouth. And when your reputation precedes you, trust me, doors open that you didn't even know were available to you.
Angela, I hear you. And before I forget,
Okay.
I want to say a special thank you to all our sponsors, the sponsors of Nanny Fest.
Yes.
My dear friend Sue Downey, who's my soul sister. We meet and we tell the crowd that we are soul sisters, and people look at us like, she is my soul sister. Our dear friend Sue Downey from Nanny Palooza, thank you so much for being a sponsor. Our friend, the friend of my nanny circle, Seth Greenberg from Pavilion Agency, we thank you so much for being a sponsor of Nanny Fest. Our friends at Glenn Greenhouse from Greenhouse Agency, we are honored that you supported and you are a sponsor of Nanny Fest. Tammy Gold Agency in New Jersey, she just signed on as a sponsor. Thank you. And for people that are considering, companies that are considering sponsorship, the sponsorship can be any dollar amount. It can be anything that's going to help us pay back the space and all of that. We invite you to become a sponsor. But for those that have sponsored, I live and will live in infinite gratitude to you. You working with the nanny community is a testament to your respect to that community. And like I've said to them, we are an extremely loyal community, and we will definitely remember the brands that have been loyal to us.
Yes. And all of you all who are watching, please look down at the bottom and hit the share button so we can get the word out to as many people as possible. And thank you, Aileen. Thank you. Thank you. Keep letting God use you, first of all.
I surrender.
It's like this creative. I look at your face and I see this little circle of wonder and imagination and all these things coming up, just circling over your head, just waiting to come down and come out. And
Yeah.
I can't wait to see what you come up with next.
I can't wait to see how I'm going. But thank you, thank everybody that's watching and everybody that will view the video.
Yeah.
And I'm already thanking those that are going to come to Nanny Marketplace.
Yes.
Thanks to that radio station that's going to give us that interview on Saturday. I mean, I could spend an hour here just simply saying thank you. So thank you immensely to all of you that's helping shape Nanny Fest into what it is becoming.
Yes. Thank you, ladies. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Tell a friend, come out and support other nannies. It is so important that we support each other. Nanny Village Unite. That's my hashtag this year, and probably will be
Yes,
for years to come. Nanny Village Unite. Let us support one another and not put each other down. Support one
Amen.
another.
And Angela,
It's
thanks.
so important. So important.
Thank
Because
you.
if we don't support each other, then all these other people that we're talking about, they won't want to support us because why would you support something that's divided?
Amen.
Let's come together and show sisterhood, show what we're about, show our solidarity, that we got this. We're not just nannies. We are entrepreneurial women. We are smart women. We got this.
Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Aileen.
Thank you.
Okay. I'm going.
Thank you. Friday. I think we're breaking up, so that might be a signal that we need to say goodbye.
Yeah. All right. Talk to you later. All right.
Yeah, I think there's a bad connection, but thank you everyone who's watched. I love you. Bye-bye.
Love you too. All right,
Bye.
ladies. All right, ladies. Please share. And don't forget tomorrow night. Tomorrow, Stephanie is having an interview with the budget fashionista, but Tiffany, the budgetista. I don't know why I said fashionista. The budgetista is all about financial health. So don't miss that. I'm sure that it will be plastered all over the Nanny Collaborative as to what time that is going to happen on tomorrow. We want to watch it because we want to be financially sound. We want to be physically sound. We want to be mentally sound. And self-care is so important, and financial is a part of self-care. So be sure you watch that on tomorrow. And we will see you again on Monday with Dr. Jackie Evans Phillips. She's going to do some self-care with us. We are all about this is Nanny Healthcare Awareness Month. So let's take care of ourselves. And I will see you all on Monday. Bye-bye.